best offensive team in the conference. Lori Payne, not shy about it. She is offensive-minded through and through. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. We'll begin with the 5th seed in Montana. Sophia Stiles averaging 11.8 points a game, second team Big Sky Conference. The redshirt senior, along with senior Naya Morris-Nelson, Haley Heward, the freshman Carmen G. Feller, and Abby Anderson, also a redshirt junior. She has 65 blocks on the season, but Sophia Stiles getting it done in style this year.
Sophia Stiles does it on both ends of the floor. She's a leader. She is a floor general and does a lot of great things for Montana. She has come on late in the conference, and look for her to be a player to watch.
Well, the number 4 seed in Northern Arizona finished conference 12-8, and they are led by Regan Skank. Also, Lauren Orndorff starting today. Nina Radford averages close to 10 a game. Emily Rodabaugh, the sophomore, and Khiarica Rasheed, the graduate senior, in the record books. Plenty of places, along with her good friend Skank, who we're going to see plenty of today because the offense runs through her.
And Montana won both of the regular season games, but difficult to beat a team 3 times, and they fell to NAU just 2 years ago. So rematch of the 4-5.
Ready for our second of 4 games here for the Women's Big Sky Conference Basketball Championships in Boise. Montana winning the tip, and the Lady Grizz will have control to start this one. Sophia Stiles, first shot, missing, and a board for NAU. Stepped out of bounds, yeah.
From our angle, that was a challenging. Stepped out of bounds. From our angle, it was challenging to see.
Turnover. That's what it goes down as. There you go.
NAU coming out in a zone defense.
Stiles, long 3 again. This time connects.
Coach Payne wanting Montana to prove it. Prove they can shoot. And Sophia Stiles with the early tray.
Inside to Khiarica Rasheed. And that doesn't fall. This is the 141st game for Khiarica Rasheed. That's 3rd most in the Big Sky Conference. We just saw in the last game Steffi Orrs end her career as Idaho State got upset by UNC, and Alexis Chapman there as the 2nd most games played. Off and running on the other end. And that bucket doesn't go for Emily Rodabaugh.
NAU switching it up on the defensive end, and you can see the double down. They've obviously scouted Montana and know that they're going to put pressure on Abby Anderson and make her make that difficult pass.
Carmen G. Feller with the fake and drive. That ball falls.
Carmen G. Feller showing us why she is a first-team all-conference player.
5-0 Montana on a run. Nina Radford had a hard time getting it in. No one open, but Sophia Stiles wide open for the steal. Drives, layup, too hard. NAU, they're gonna push the ball, that's what they do. Skank tried to have the skip bounce pass to Emily Rodabaugh and out of bounds.
3 quick turnovers for Northern Arizona just in the first minute of play.
Hold your spot, okay? Can't move.
I feel like I'm out of breath here, just a little over 2 minutes into the first quarter. They're going so fast up and down the court. And that's the style of play we expected to see today. Inside getting double teamed, and Khiarica Rasheed had a hand on it, but Abby Anderson there to pick it up, and Khiarica Rasheed with positioning and the rebound.
Abby Anderson's going to pick up that foul. She has been in foul trouble for Montana. and been plagued by it during conference play. They really need her in the game. It's such a habit as a player, Jenny, to miss a shot and then go up for the rebound and foul. And that is something that it's just a difficult part of the game.
Abby Anderson, 82 fouls in the regular season on 29 games played. Styles with the pass and can't get the finish for Lauren Orndorff. And there's a foul inside. G-Filler picks up her first personal foul. 3 fouls for Montana.
Montana arguably has the best 4-5 combination in the Big Sky in Abby Anderson and Carmen G-Feller. We heard Coach Sobolewski say that in our meeting just 2 days ago, that those two are a force. And when they're firing on all cylinders, watch out.
First point for Northern Arizona, and this one coming off a free throw, and underneath, Abby Anderson gets fouled.
Going to see some nice high to low offense. The ball flows out of Sophia Stiles' hands to Carmen G-Feller, who finds Abby Anderson.
Fatu Jaite checking in for Lori Payne. Lauren Orndorff heads to the bench.
No question to all the Montana viewers that the last game against Northern Arizona was a stinger. Last second shot by Khiarica Rasheed.
Anderson makes a pair.
Prevailed them to the win. These teams split on the season.
Correction, Nina Radford on the bench for NAU. She has 2 fouls and an early trouble, and that's going to be a travel underneath. Will go Montana's way. Grizz have 3 of their 7 points off turnovers. Playing solid defense and forcing NAU to be a little sloppy with the basketball. 3 attempt long, but it stays with the Lady Grizz, and then a turnover. Orndorff with the pass, and Rodebach can't make the finish. Stiles coming up with it, and here comes Montana. 7-1, Lady Grizz leading the best offensive team in the conference in NAU. G-Feller. Back at the top to go.
Here comes NAU.
Jaite too high, and that's going to be out of bounds.
NAU looking out of sorts at the beginning of this game. You got to credit Montana's defense. 4 turnovers, and they have looked out of sync offensively.
Lori Payne can sense that, so she goes to the bench. You'll see Olivia Moran in her first minutes with the face guard on. Said it was optional at this point, face mask I should say. Keeping it on. Holsinger also went to the bench, and Sammy Fatkin in the game. She had missed 9 games for the Lady Grizz and came in against Sacramento State. A great sight to see the senior back in action, the senior transfer from Arizona.
Just a high ankle sprain, which is really challenging to recover from, but just such a great, heady offensive rebound, not able to convert. But if you're Montana fans, you're glad to see Sammy Fatkin back in the lineup.
I think for Brian Holsinger, self-admitted, it's going to be hard to figure out how to get that rotation. You missed her for 9 games. You found a way to play with your team, but you need her in there because she averages 12.9 points a game. So I think smart today, have her coming off the bench and easing into this with Montana up 7-1.
Such a strong rebound, put back.
Jaite coming in big, the freshman off the bench. She started in 3 games this year. Oh, air ball's out of bounds. We'll take a break here for our first media timeout. Just over 5 minutes of action, running up and down, but Montana NAU making the trip from Flagstaff. I'd like to tell them it's much warmer here than it is in northern Arizona, but it's been a little chilly in Boise. Doesn't keep us from going outside, though, because it's always blue skies when it's tournament time. Here in downtown Boise, they always put on a great show at Idaho Central Arena in the town as well, with great eats and fun things to do. Fun to have you along with us here. Jenny Kavnar, Krista Redpath. 7-3 Montana with the lead. 4:30 to go here in the first quarter, and Olivia Moran gives it a run and can't get the money shot.
Montana on a bit of a scoring drought, 0 for 10 of their last attempts.
Try to get that offense going for Brian Holsinger out of the timeout. Trying to kiss it off the glass, won't go. Rebound, also no good.
And if you're Montana, you have to get back on defense because Northern Arizona likes to run. And one player in particular, Lauren Orndorff.
A couple subs coming in. Seeing Abby Anderson and Haley Heward back. Jaite off, and Khiarica Rasheed back for Lori Payne. Lauren Orndorff leaves the first free throw short. Morris Nelson had picked up the foul, and that's the first foul from Northern Arizona of the game to Montana's 5.
Lauren Orndorff sat last year, opted out of COVID. The year previous had a collapsed lung, and that's been such a journey for her to even get back to this point.
And she has 11.4 points per game. 1 in this, 1 for 2 from the free throw line. Orndorff leads all scores for NAU for Montana as Khiarica Rasheed grabs the steal. For Montana, it's Carmen Gfeller averaging 13.9 a game this year. So far in this, just 2. Moran with the rebound, and it'll stay with the Lumberjacks. The lefty misses the mark, and Abby Anderson will hand it off to Sophia Stiles. Sammy Fatkin drives and draws a foul. You see Olivia Moran grabbing her face, and that face mask became optional for her, according to Lori Payne, but she just felt more comfortable wearing it. You can kind of tell she's grimacing, and that just can't feel good when you get hit in a prior injury.
They're going to call that foul on the floor before Sammy Fatkin was shooting.
Orndorff picked up the foul.
And that's something Montana was missing, was that extra presence of Sammy Fatkin attacking the rim, which opens up your forward play, your perimeter play.
Orndorff coming out of the game, and Nina Radford back in. Stiles picked up her dribble. Fatkin with single digits on the shot clock. And that's going to be a charge.
It's just great defense by Khiarica Rasheed. Completely set. Khiarica doing so many things for this NAU team. Although from that angle, that was maybe not the best to see if her feet were set, but initially on the play.
2:45 to go here in the first quarter. Northern Arizona is in the bonus. Montana has 6 fouls. Inside, turn and pull up, and points for Mikiala Mayo. The senior transferred from Nevada, was on Lori Payne's team last year. Katarina Chinek.
Montana with 4 turnovers in the last 4.5 minutes as this gap tightens between NAU and Montana.
Maya over to Skank. Radford inside. And now just some good ball movement from NAU. Seeing the other Moran in the game, Olivia on the bench, but her twin sister, Nia, on the floor.
That surge started with an Abby Anderson block. She leads the Big Sky, 2.24 blocks a game. She's first in the conference with 65, that's her 66th. And Abby Anderson just gets it done in that part of the game, which is such a nice look defensively for Montana.
Sophia Stiles, a 71% free throw shooter. And got a pair. 4 points for the Montana native. 9-6, low-scoring affair here in the first quarter. Both teams shooting under 20% from the floor. And Mikiala Mayo changing that with a jumper.
2 straight jumpers for Mayo.
NAU putting on the trap and the pressure, and they get the turnover. Can Mayo convert? She does. Good stall in the air to get some extra space. She has 6 points off the bench.
NAU has their first lead of the ball game.
10-9 and a minute 15 to go in the first quarter. Nice stuff by Khiarica Rasheed. Goes out of bounds, so Montana will set up an inbounds play with 15 seconds on the shot clock. What can't Khiarica Rasheed do? We've seen her do it all in her several years as a Lumberjack. How about walking in the gym the other day and she had on a Reno sweatshirt from 2018. We're like, Khiarica, you've been in the conference a long time. 4th year the conference tournaments are here in Boise, and again, the city has been absolutely fantastic. Free throws coming for Carmen G-Feller.
As you can see, fans have filtered in. There's always a Montana following wherever any of their sports teams go. It is a good atmosphere here. It's a hockey arena, and so it's very similar to Dahlberg Arena in that the fans are right on the floor. Just called the Montana State game just 2 weeks ago in Dahlberg Arena with 4,000 fans. You got to give a shout out to all those Lady Grizz fans.
Now the Brawl of the Wild, that is what you call some good fans. Always fun games. The rivalry between Montana and Montana State. Skank pulling up. Step back 3, no good.
Great rebound by Kendall Keller. Kendall Keller, part of the Keller family tree. Both of her aunts played for the Lady Grizz, one of which was my teammate, Cheryl Keller-Carr. Standouts for the Lady Grizz. And I'm sure listening and watching this broadcast, so I need to make sure and give a shout out to my friends.
Keller with the travel and turnover. 7 turnovers for the Lady Grizz. 4 for NAU. 20 seconds on the clock here in the quarter. Mayo, she gets fouled from behind, and you can tell right away. Chinnick, skittish, putting her hands in the air.
Chinnick just out of positioning, and Mayo doing a great job capitalizing on that. It's interesting because Coach Payne has had different players step up at different times throughout the season, and Mayo has been one of those players, giving her team just a little over.
About 22 minutes a game is what she's averaging. 7.8 points a game. She makes her second free throw to be right on that mark. 7 points for her in this one. That leads Northern Arizona scorers as they lead Montana by 1, 11-10. Montana's gonna have the last shot of the quarter here if they choose. 18.5 on the clock. Sophia Stiles will bring it up, and Lots of white jerseys around her. She splits them, and a wide open Abby Anderson kisses it off the glass. Montana back in control, 5 seconds. Orndorff with the fake drive, scoop, and in. NAU. They win the seesaw battle of the first quarter, up by 1 over Montana, 13-12. Arena back and forth affair between the 4 and 5 seeds in Northern Arizona and Montana. The Lumberjacks up 13-12 over the Lady Grizz. Jenny Kavanaugh, Krista Redpath back with you. The winner of this game will go on to face the 8th seed in the semifinals as UNC upset number 1 Idaho State. I know both these teams were in the gym getting ready to warm up, and they had to peep up at that scoreboard, and probably something they weren't expecting to see.
Montana coming out of the quarter in a zone defense.
Ball off Lauren Orndorff's hand, and it's going to be a turnover for the Lumberjacks.
Montana, bit of a scoring drought. 3 for 17 from the floor in the first quarter. Both Gfeller and Stiles just 2 of 10.
Sammy Fatkin tried to bounce it last minute. Abby Anderson couldn't control, but she'll draw a foul. Foul on the floor, and it'll go on Nia Moran. "20 seconds will be on the shot clock, and Mikiala Mayo will check in. Very productive minutes so far for her off the bench with 7 points to lead the Lumberjacks. Nice feed inside from Fatkin, and the finish from Gfeller.
Just patience on the offensive end. Carmen Gfeller doing a really good job of anticipating the defensive pressure and finishing.
Skank feeds inside. Jaite to Mayo, who was cutting, and just good awareness inside the key to know where she was and kiss it off the glass. She has 9. Wide open 3. No good, but Abby Anderson fighting on the boards, ends up with Regan Skank. Skank will push it. 3 ball. It rattles in off the glass, and those are the kind of threes that Emily Rodabaugh gets because she throws them up so often. 43.6% from three-point land. That is second when it comes to single-season records right now. She's trying to keep it. And on the other end, Fatkin with a chance for a three-point play.
And this is what Montana has been missing, that acceleration to the basket that Sammy Fatkin brings to their game. You're going to see her hard to the basket and the finish, drawing the foul.
Fatu Jaite, the freshman from Linwood, Washington, with the foul. Fatkin finishes the three-point play. (18-17), NAU up by 1. Milo's miss is the game for the Lady Grizz. Fatkin, she'll push it, gets in a race with Skank. Skank gets a hand on it, but she also gets the foul.
Sammy taking the ball from one end to the other. Rebound coast to coast.
Skank's second personal foul.
And if you're Coach Payne, you need Skank in the game. You might have to think about having her take a seat. You don't want her to pick up her third foul.
Roy Payne getting an explanation from the ref on that foul as Fatkin makes her first. So Skank in with 2 fouls. Khiarica Rasheed checked back in for Jaite. Fatkin made them both, and now the Lady Grizz are up 19-18. Fatkin with 5 ties Stiles and Gfeller for the lead for the Lady Grizz. See Olivia Moran at the score table waiting to check in, possibly for Skank. Orndorff fires 3, off the mark. Here come the Lady Grizz. A travel call.
I think it was step on the line. She stepped out of bounds.
My ankle is just not great right here, is it? turns the ball over as the 5th turnover for NAU. 8 turnovers for Montana. Something to watch here. Khiarica Rasheed with the finish.
So strong to the basket. You know, Khiarica has struggled with that knee injury, that lagging knee injury. But great to see her hard take to the basket. Just another body that's had a lot of play and struggled with injuries over her career.
Here comes some defense, and Lauren Orndorff got a hand on it. Rasheed grabbed it, passes back to Orndorff, and they finish on the other end. 5 points for the senior.
Nice defensive surge by Northern Arizona. 9 turnovers for Montana, Jenny.
Inside out of bounds. And it'll be NAU's ball. Mentioned turnovers will be key. Montana averages 13 of them a game. They're at 10 already. 15 is the average for NAU. 3 for Khiarica.
That was such a pretty shot, Jenny. Beautiful rotation. Khiarica Rasheed doing damage on both ends of the floor for NAU.
Came in with over 1,700 points in her career. And 6 points in this contest. Another turnover, pushing it up, and Olivia Moran rainbows it over the basket. Fatkin will drive in, scoop, no go. Khiarica Rasheed, big rebounds. How about it? Just the finish. They are in the zone right now.
Transition offense. It's a huge part of Coach Payne's game plan.
And answers on the other end. And a foul underneath. Some free throws coming. Michaela Mayo trying to catch her breath during these free throws too. The pace has definitely picked up, and obviously when the ball's being turned over, they're pushing it up a bunch. Missing her first. Michaela from Hawaii, went to Kamehameha High School, but a transfer from Nevada. Missing the pair of free throws, so she stays in single digits at 9. Leads all scorers in this contest, 27-22 NAU. It's a little kickoff Orndorff, but no whistle. G-Feller with the turnaround, and Orndorff grabs the boards.
No one on the weak side board for Montana. Good inside-out action, but just unable to convert. Montana switching up their defenses.
Olivia Moran drives to the hole.
You have to think if that does affect your trajectory wearing that face mask, but it sure hasn't affected her so far in this game.
No, it hasn't, and good thing she's wearing it because we saw her get hit a little earlier in the game. Under 4:30 to go here in the first half, and Stiles got the ball knocked out of her hands by Emily Rodabaugh. Just good heads-up play as Stiles was trying to breeze past her. Love the mascots for the Big Sky. Always good ones, and they tend to have their convention here in Boise.
It's fun to have the environment, the UM dance team, NAU band, Monty, more fans filling in as the week progresses.
Montana has single digits on the shot clock after the inbounds from the timeout. Sophia Stiles will take the shot, in and out, and she gets her own rebound. Hustle play from the redshirt senior.
Second chance opportunities for Montana.
And she gets stuffed by Khiarica Rasheed. Regathers. Shot clock winding down once again. It's at 3, and they're not going to get a shot off in time. shot clock violation and another turnover for Montana. It's been the Achilles heel so far for them here in the first half. It's now 12 turnovers, and the points off turnovers is where NAU is capitalizing. It's the difference in this game. You talk about a 7-point advantage. Well, 12 points for the Lumberjacks have come after Montana doesn't take care of the ball. Moran to Mickey Alamayo, and she misses. 4 for 7 from the floor for Mayo. Again, leads all scorers in this one with 9. 3:30 to go here in the second quarter. And Stiles finally gets some points for the Lady Grizz.
Good decision. Nice screen by Abby Anderson on the top, and Sophie Stiles sensing the defensive pressure and able to convert.
Olivia Moran over to Orndorff. 3-ball good. So any momentum the Lady Grizz had, it just got taken away by a big tray, and Lauren Orndorff's in double figures.
She's 4 for 5 from the floor. She has been a force for Northern Arizona this year.
A whistle underneath, and it's going to go Northern Arizona's way. Rodova to Moran. She drives to her left and gets it to Orndorff, loose ball, but they regather. Khiarica Rasheed from the elbow, and that miss is Abby Anderson's rebound.
There's not a lot of secrets between these two teams. Not anyone in the Big Sky at this point. With the amount of times they've played each other, they've seen each other's systems.
Looks like Chufeller's ball was tipped a little bit, and Northern Arizona on the other side. Long three from Orndorff, rebound from Khiarica Rasheed, and back to Lauren Orndorff. This time she drives. Khiarica will take the jumper and got it.
Khiarica Rasheed coming up big for NAU. Big rebounds, jump shots, taking charges on the floor.
Looking at the Lumberjacks NAU record book, and it's hard not to glance at it quick and see Khiarica Rasheed's name in almost every offensive category in the top 3. Mayo with the pass ahead, and can't get it to finish for Olivia Moran. Other way, Lady Grizz, Sophia Stiles, pass to Abby Anderson, fake dribble, underneath and good.
Nice take by Abby Anderson, showing her agility and athleticism. She likes that high post area. Dear Montana, you just need more of that right now. They're not getting enough offensively from their veteran leaders.
NAU up by 8. Shooting 44% from the floor, and Montana, who shot just 18% in the first quarter, is now shooting 28% in the game.
Montana still holding the significant rebound advantage over Northern Arizona.
That's the 14th turnover of the game for Brian Holsinger's squad. No points on the other end, but the offensive rebound, and that'll send Khiarica Rasheed to the line.
Khiarica Rasheed was the preseason MVP 2020-2021. The Big Sky noticed her play early. Then she had a knee injury and wasn't able to play as much. But as her knee starts to feel better in this last year, she's coming on strong right when the Lumberjacks need her.
Honorable mention this year for the Big Sky, and that free throw right there puts her in sole possession of first place in the Lumberjack record book for free throws made.
She joined the 1,000-point club, the 18th player to do so.
428 free throws now for Khiarica Rasheed in her career. She also has double figures. 20 seconds separate game clock, shot clock here as it's winding down in the first half. Sophia Stiles pulls up and nothing but net. 9 for Stiles, who averages close to 12 per game on the year. (36-28). Khiarica Rasheed threw the ball away, but they eventually did. Whistle, they're going to call a foul on Mickey Alamayo.
You see Coach Payne pointing to her head saying, smart, be smart in these last 13 seconds.
They called that on Jaite. So 2 fouls for her, 4 for Northern Arizona, 6 seconds on the shot clock, game clock. Styles will take the last shot, and it's nowhere near, so the air ball out of bounds, and that is the buzzer for the first half. These two teams can get up and down the floor, but Northern Arizona has that. Montana and Northern Arizona, it'll be the Lady Grizz with the ball to start the second half. They trail by 8. Northern Arizona really capitalizing off turnovers and forcing them into that. We saw a run and gun style, Krista, the first half. See if anything changes here in the second half.
Basketball's a game of momentum shifts. And we'll see if Montana is able to weather the shift that NAU brought to the second quarter.
Styles short off the glass, and Regan Skank will come up with it.
Both teams seem locked and loaded at halftime and focused. Came out early to shoot around. Both teams were out after 5 minutes. Taking the floor.
Ball got away and back in the hands of Carmen G-Feller. She gets the roll. 7 points for the Colfax, a Washington native. And the first score here in the second half. 36-30. Nina Radford driving to her left. Loses it. Good defense by Haley Heward. Long three. And Nia Morris-Nelson comes flying through with the rebound. Sophia Stiles gets checked, and Regan Skank will pick up her third.
That's not good for Coach Payne, and I think Carmen G-Feller looked at with attentiveness to the official, just not quite sure what they were going to call.
Morris-Nelson with the inbounds to Stiles. Lady Grizz trail by 6, and Khiarica got a hand on it.
Good recovery by Abby Anderson, but if you're Montana, you just have to take care of the basketball.
See Nina Radford kind of grimace in pain when she got up, but shaking it off. Possession arrow going with the Lumberjacks off the jump ball.
Khiarica Rasheed just agile and able to get around Abby Anderson. There just was no position held there. Got to recognize when someone's not open.
Regan Skank to Radford. She dribbles around the free throw line into Rasheed, and she's going to head to the free throw line.
Rasheed, do it on both ends of the floor.
She had 10 points, 8 rebounds in the first half, looking to add here.
We're seeing a more athletic Rasheed this year after that knee injury. I think last year was just tough on her.
Heward picked up her first foul. First team foul for Montana as well.
Got to remember that also Khiarica Rasheed, they have her listed at 5'11", but when we met with Coach Payne, did you catch when she said she was only 5'9", 5'10"?
I did.
And I thought, well, but she's 5'11" in the roster, but she said, well, she just plays so much bigger than her size. I'm glad you caught that, too.
I did, and I was trying to look on the roster. I'm like, who's 5'9"? Not Khiarica Rasheed. How about Sophia Stiles getting in the mix in double figures?
But when you look at her out there, I mean, she's very similar in size to height-wise to Sophie Stiles, who is 5'9".
And Stiles' hand went down, so she'll get her first foul of the game. Regan Skank with her first point of the game.
Coach Payne alluding to Skank just doing so much for her club this year and wanting her to score more. But there's so many offensive weapons on this team. She hasn't needed to as much as last season when they needed her to score more points. She does such a good job delivering the basketball.
She's still getting her points, but man, you start to look at it and you go, she's 7th on scoring for NAU, and just such a great offensive player, has so many weapons. Definitely controls the offense, has a ton of assists over the course of her career.
She'll be back next year for Coach Payne.
Has to be exciting for Lori Payne as she hits the recruiting trail to know she can build around that. Abby Anderson, scoop shot in, she has 8. And gets the roll. How excited was Khiarica Rasheed? Sammy Fatkin got the ball stripped away, but also a whistle and a Rodabaugh foul.
Sammy Fatkin, open lane, taking it to the basket.
It's fun to see her drive and good to see that high ankle sprain that affected her 10 games ago isn't hindering her here in Boise. Misses the second. Lauren Orndorff had a loud first half for NAU, 10 points to join Khiarica Rasheed in double figures. There's Emily Rodabaugh. That three's long, and the ball gets tipped into the hands of Fatkins. She pulls up on the elbow, misses the jumper, and back the other way. Stiles got a hand on it. Rodabaugh recovers and gets it to Skank. Skank to Rodabaugh, 3-point. Got it.
Just no defensive pressure on Rodabaugh, and you just can't leave her open on the perimeter. Skank doing a great job drawing in the defenders and finding one of her favorite teammates in Rodabaugh.
Well, there's the miss for Stiles. Radford gets it in to Khiarica Rasheed. She's Orndorff on the right wing, and how about it? Back-to-back threes for Northern Arizona, and they continue to build the lead.
NAU 5 for 12 from the three-point line. Coach Holsinger needs to take a timeout to gather the troops.
And he does that here with 5:14 on the clock in the third quarter. 40
from the outside, taking it to the basket. Lauren Orndorff, a definite offensive threat for Northern Arizona.
2 for 4 beyond the arc, and she has 13. Khiarica Rasheed with 14. See Rasheed starting off on the bench, get a little extra rest out of that timeout with the big 13-point lead for the Lumberjacks. So if you're Brian Holsinger, Krista, what do you say in that timeout?
Boy, that's a tough one, Jenny. I think they've got to find a hot hand, Montana, right now. They got to find someone that can step up and make some shots and defend. They got to get out on these shooters. You can't leave Rodabaugh open or Orndorff open on the perimeter because they're both firing on all cylinders.
They really need some tough defense to create some offense for them, too. And with the roll, Jaite taking advantage of her minutes as she's in for Rasheed. She has 4. Carmen Gfeller made the previous basket for Montana. She's at 9. And there's a foul that'll send Sophia Stiles to the line. Jaite saying, my bad. Well, 3 fouls for her. Oh, excuse me, that was on Moran. Earlier on Sunday morning, he spent a little bit of time with us to talk about his first year coaching the Lady Grizz and Montana's team. And, you know, he brought up his parents and the greeting, and you could just tell such a great family. such a tight-knit family, too. His brother's here in Boise and has a basketball facility that actually the Lady Grizz practiced at the other day. So, yes, it is a full family affair for the Holsingers. Sophia Stiles makes the first, misses the second. She has 12 points. And a big turnover. I'm sure you will hear Monda Holsinger at some point trying to get the Lady Grizz going. And the feed too much, so Abby Anderson turns it over. 50-38, and the turnovers have been the big problem for the Lady Grizz. 16 of them now compared to 8 for NAU. 16 points off those 16 turnovers, and they're going to put some pressure on the Lumberjacks to try and get the ball back. Olivia Moran gets it and gets it across half court in time. Mayo, easy.
And that's what happens with NAU. You take a risk in transition when you pressure because they know how to move the ball up the floor. Montana caught on their heels with the pressure and just not getting back on the defensive end.
Slow start shooting for NAU, but they're finally up their season average around 46% from the floor, and there's a foul. So Mayo will have her first personal. She'll check out. Into Abby Anderson. And it was a cutting G-feller. The ball almost ended up Lumberjacks' hands, goes out of bounds, and it's going to stay Montana's ball. Naya Moran checking in for her twin sister, Olivia. I didn't check the numbers this year. Last year there were 24 pairs of twins on Division I rosters. And the Moran sisters made up one of them from King High School in Riverside, California. Foul on NAU, and Jaite picking up her fourth. Excuse me, her third.
And speaking of Olivia, we have an Olivia Lucero who is on staff for Coach Payne, former player for Northern Arizona, assistant coach. We have 7 of the 11 programs in the Big Sky have former players on staff, including Jordan Sullivan, former Lady Grizz, went to 2 NCAA tournaments. Robin Selvig's niece, continuing that legacy for Montana.
G-Feller in double figures. She has 11, and Nina Radford's going to check in, get Jaite out. I love that you bring up that point, Krista, because it's such a great connection for these programs. For these players coming in, they can look up to these assistant coaches, but for the assistant coaches, especially those that played under the head coach, they can be the buffer zone, right? They know that sometimes when a coach is getting on you, they know how to kind of come pick your spirits back up, or vice versa.
And they've developed that passion playing a game that they love and realizing that coaching is what they want to pursue.
Moran into Khiarica Rasheed, out to the other side, and Lauren Orndorff stays hot from three-point range. She's at 16 behind 3 from distance.
You have to guard Khiarica Rasheed honestly, and the Lady Grizz are double teaming down low and finding Orndorff. It's just good offense by NAU.
Another whistle underneath. That's the first on Khiarica Rasheed.
We're seeing the benefits of good inside-out basketball with Northern Arizona. Capitalizing underneath with Khiarica Rasheed, and then having the three-point threat of Lauren Orndorff on the perimeter.
Abby Anderson was third team All Big Sky Conference last season. And Brian Holsinger said, you know, he could be a defensive player of the year.
I agree with that. I think they overlook the post players when they look at defensive player of the year. They look at just the steals, and blocks are just as critical on the defensive end. Me being a former post player, I got to throw that in there, Jenny.
I agree with you. It's not just a perimeter game. Slow to get up is Naya Moran. She's grabbing her elbow. grimacing in pain. It's going to be Montana's ball. .219 here in the third quarter. 55-41, and there's a look at Nia Moran. Coach Payne talking to her. They're kind of laughing now, so maybe she hit her funny bone, if you will. A little pain at first.
Oh, Jenny,
and a laugh to end.
That's good stuff. Game 2, you're coming up with all the...
That's like game 4 material,
that
right?
Game
after
4
a
material.
long
We'll be
day of
spending
basketball.
a lot of time together today.
2 more games after this one. Saw a huge upset earlier as Northern Colorado beat Idaho State, who won the regular season in the Big Sky for the women. I was going to stay with Montana.
We'll just leave it at that.
Krista was an aggressive post player, and there is nothing wrong with it.
I never thought I fouled. I never thought. Bob said,
exactly.
you always looked at me with that blank stare, like you never did it, and you always did.
Or the like you point to someone else, or the hands in the air. It wasn't me. Shot clock at 6. G. Feller takes it to the hoop, off the glass, no good. And there's a nice turnover, so Chineke trying to get a little momentum swing here. Foul underneath, that's going to go on Mayo, and it'll be her second. Styles, 71% free throw shooter, makes her first. And too hard on the second. Styles with 13 points. That leads the Lady Grizz right now, but they trail by 13. Warndoff off the mark, and Nina Radford will gather it in for a fresh 20.
Just an unfortunate bounce for Montana.
Khiarica gathers, hands it off to Skank. She drives to her right. Back up top. Orndorff has it with 3 on the shot clock. Khiarica fires, that gets tipped, and that's going to be a shot clock violation.
Nice defense by Montana. They're just hanging in there. Jenny just trying to find that hot hand.
Montana just 13 for 40 from the floor today. They have not had a field goal in 4 minutes. Under a minute to go here in the third quarter. They've been forcing NAU into some turnovers, and now they need the points. Can't get the 3 to fall, and Nina Radford will get it up to Skank. Back it out, under 30 here in the quarter. Skank to her left, and she got stuffed by Abby Anderson, who does that quite a bit during the regular season.
About a 15-second differentiate between shot clock and game clock.
3 blocks for Anderson now in this game, and a rebound for G. Feller. Here comes Chineke. Gets it off to Styles, 9 seconds in the quarter. Styles drives, out the 3-point range. Chineke with the pass and the turnover. There's the buzzer after 30 minutes of play and 10 to go here in Boise. Northern Arizona up over the University of Montana, 55-42. Difference in this has been turnovers. 17 turnovers for the Grizzlies, and the Lumberjacks have 18 points off those turnovers. And of course the 3 ball making a difference too. So it'll be Northern Arizona's ball to start the fourth quarter. Montana, really, like I said earlier, could use some of that energy and offense. They get it from Abby Anderson there. It just goes out of bounds. That's 4 blocks.
Abby Anderson is a player that can really disrupt on the defensive end.
Tina Radford with the dribble and pull up, no good. Sophia Stiles will bring it down for the Lady Grizz. Ball will head the other way after the whistle.
Illegal screen.
So it was a turnover by Abby Anderson. She's turned the
Turnover
ball over
number
6 times today.
Turnover number 18 for Montana.
Tina Radford short, and Anderson grabs the board. Abby has 8 rebounds to go with her 9 points. Other end, Khiarica Rasheed adding a board, and that should be a double-double for her. 10 rebounds and 14 points. It's her 4th double-double of the season. And finally a score here in the 4th quarter. It comes from Warren Orndorff, 18. Orndorff's season high was 25. She had that against Cal Poly. That also happens to be a career high for her, and a steal for Khiarica Rasheed. She's added blocks, steals, assists. She does it all on stat sheet.
Very active on the defensive end. Montana not doing a good job beating the pass.
And another stuff from Abby Anderson. Stiles found the lane. Easy buckets on the other end.
Reagan Skank just dominating. Had the open shot and had no problem knocking it down. NAU just so many offensive weapons. Inside, outside, guard play. Sophia
to 44. You can feel that sense of urgency out of the gate from Lori Payne's crew. They know how tough this game can be. They've been in it before. They were the 5th seed. Montana was the 4th seed, and that was an upset a couple years ago.
NAU has evened the rebounding gap that Montana had even at half, as the rebounds are even between NAU and Montana. NAU has played all areas of the ball strong in the 4th quarter, excuse me.
Olivia Moran picks up her dribble. Skank pulls it out, and the shot clock winding down. It's at 4. She goes and throws up a prayer, nowhere near. Abby Anderson will collect, and Montana goes their way. Feed inside contested by Olivia Moran. And they're going to get a foul call on her. It's her 2nd. First team foul of the quarter for NAU. Stiles tried to float it into Anderson, and it was nowhere near her very long reach.
NAU just dialed in on both ends of the floor. That would be turnover number 20 for Montana.
Moran just willed that ball in. She was kind of all over the place.
A nice hard take to the basket for Moran.
The Moran sisters went to high school at King High School in Riverside, same high school as Kawhi Leonard, the NBA star. Just a little after him. The turnover total might haunt the Lady Grizz in the offseason. That's going to be a foul and 1 opportunity, so Abby Anderson picks up her 2nd, and Moran can go to the line.
Moran just doing the exact same play as she's making it very difficult. She makes a difficult shot, difficult angle, and Abby Anderson getting her with the body.
Olivia and Naya just have a nose for the hoop. You can tell they like to drive. Probably see some extended minutes for Olivia here. She's averaging about 12 a game. Foul will go on Khiarica Rasheed. That's her second. Stiles has gotten to the line most out of the Lady Grizz today.
She's done that well all season. Penetrating and driving and getting to the free throw line.
Makes them bold, now 6 of 8. She is 17.
What they need to find is someone who can make some shots, because then it just opens up your game so much more to be multi-dimensional. Being able to take it to the hole and find that hot hand, and Montana just has not been able to find anyone that can make shots.
Shooting 32% as a team. Khiarica will have free throws coming. G. Feller picking up her second. Three fouls for Montana as a team so far this quarter. And Khiarica nails it again during this game. She became the all-time leader in free throws made in school history, and she's just adding to the total now. $16 points for Khiarica Rasheed. She has her fourth double-double. NAU
extending out this lead, Jenny. 20 points. Just 5 minutes to play. If you're Montana, you got to get stops.
There's Olivia Moran going to the hoop. Misses there. Stiles pushing it up. One dribble and not close to the basket for Danny Barsh, the freshman from Helena.
Danny Barsh has been a spark for Montana off the bench. The Helena product. She's got a twin sister, Paige, that plays volleyball at Boise State, right here in Boise. Family of athletes. Just a great Montana family, and Danny has a bright future with the Lady Grizz.
Nails both her free throws. And a little pressure there, gets the ball back, and Sophia Stiles with the scoop. Oh, Khiarica Rasheed on the floor and grabbing her knee. She gets up pretty quick, but right away, a scary moment with one of the best players in school history.
As soon as you see her go down and grab her knee, I think we all gasped over here in media row.
Well, I think for those of us in the ACL club, you always gasp when
yes,
someone
you do.
grabs their knee. You have me beat. Two more.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm a repeat offender there.
You are. Gets the ball in, and Khiarica too hard off the glass. Abby Anderson will add to her rebound total. And good on the other end connecting.
Montana making a run, finding their way to the basket. Momentum shifting slightly here in Boise with just under 5 to play.
Hear the crowd getting into it. A lot of that is the lead cheerleader, Amanda Holsinger, the mother. But on the other end, NAU quiets them down. And one chance coming up. Mickey Alamayo has really impressed. It's her second year at NAU, schooled at Nevada, and there's Mrs. Holsinger doing her cheers. 3-point play, good for Mayo.
You're seeing Brian Holsinger write on his whiteboard and show Danny Barch a couple things, and it will be a bright future for her, but freshman.
Always teaching moments for coaches that
Right.
they can find throughout the course of a game. It's that balance of being super competitive and locked in, but also not losing that opportunity to grow the youth of your program. (69:52), and time is winding down for the Lady Grizz here. 4 minutes to go. Sophia Stiles drives. Stiles trying to will this on her own. She had 29 points in the final game of the regular season at Sacramento State. That was a career high for her. Here in this one, she has 19. Oh, a pick from Skank, and that was just a good hustle, but the ball out of bounds will stay with the Lady Grizz.
She also had a great game against NAU in their second game. She had 18 points in that 1-point loss at NAU. No question that Sophia Stiles has been a leader for Montana.
Second got stuffed by Rasheed. That was her third block of the game. Khiarica Rasheed only had 4 blocks coming into this game on the season.
She's filling up the entire stat category. She's got 2 steals.
Olivia Moran also making her presence felt today for her Lumberjack teammates. She has 9 points. There's a prayer, and got it from Carmen Gfeller.
Carmen Gfeller, I watched her make quite a few shots in the Bobcat Grizz game that I called, and Carmen shifted the momentum of the game. And if there's anyone that can get Montana rolling, it would be Carmen.
5 for 13 from the floor today, so she's been shooting, but they need some fall in. Mayo with the step back jumper. That's long, and Khiarica Rasheed around it and hits the deck hard. You can just tell her body is wearing down. She's been playing so tough, not just today, but for her entire career. 141 games. It's the most played at NAU. She's the second most points in school history. She's first in rebounds as well, added a ton to that total today, not to mention minutes played. She's over 3,700 minutes in her career. Stiles 3 long, offensive rebound for Anderson. Morris Nelson can't get it to fall. And there's going to be a foul on the floor.
I'm going to say Reagan Skank slipped in there with some contact.
It's her 4th. Khiarica Rasheed with another steal.
Just NAU anticipating those passing lanes. Just you can feel the urgency that NAU has had in this 4th quarter compared to Montana.
pass from Olivia Moran and get it back out to Mayo in the corner. Moran wide open, nails it.
And that could have been the final play that's going to seal this game. NAU taking every tick off the shot clock, Jenny. Just smart offense when you have that kind of lead. And Montana just can't trade for twos at this point. They got to find their three-point range.
Timeout on the floor, and Lori Payne with big smile. They're in Colorado tomorrow in the semifinals, and they split the regular season. They won the latest one in Greeley, 77-71. That was a close one. And again, huge credit to Kristen Matteo for Northern Colorado, her first year. She got the defensive schemes working, and I think she just stayed the course with her philosophy and implementing it there in Greeley. And now they have the biggest win in school history, beating a #1 seed in Idaho State to move on to the semifinals of the 2022 Big Sky Conference Basketball Champions.
She's sitting right next to us, Jenny, just with the scout right down here.
I'd love to sit with her and check out that notebook. Such a good basketball mind. We saw her teach at her practice, and she's real organized in how she approaches the tournaments. She had a lot of success at the Division II level as a head coach. Lori Payne here having a lot of success in building a program at Northern Arizona and seeing the fruits of her labor. Mayo in and out.
And we know that Northern Colorado NAU split on the season, but there just wasn't a lot that separated teams 4 through 7 in the Big Sky. And this 4-5 game is a tough draw. It is always a grind. When we look at last year, Northern Colorado beat Southern Utah in the 4-5. We have consistently, Jenny, in our 4 years of calling, have always had a competitive 4-5 game. You get that day off with the bye, but you certainly have a tough game out of the chute.
This is the 10th meeting between NAU and Montana in the Big Sky Conference Championships. And again, a rematch from 2020. NAU upset Montana that year. They were the 5 seed. Montana was the 4 seed. So they flip-flop here, and the 4 seed has been the highest for NAU since 2007. But easily, they could have been a 7 seed. You know, you start to look at the parity of the conference right below where Idaho State finished first. And really 2 through 7, 8, even Weber State with the upset yesterday, they might be playing basketball at the right time.
So you have to ask yourself, Idaho playing number 11 Portland State, who didn't get a win, just had some nice momentum heading into the quarterfinals today. Rhythm on the floor as the 6th seed. You get a win. Is that better for you to finish 6th and come in with some momentum versus the 4-5? That has proven to be a very challenging feat for Montana.
Nicolay Mayo dribbling it out with a huge smile and a fist bump. Fist pump, I should say. She'll be giving plenty of fist bumps to her teammates in 3 seconds here when the final buzzer sounds, and there it is. Fist bump to Coach Payne. Coaches shake hands at center court. Brian Holsinger again in his first year, and the Lady Grizz season ends with a 19